and it's 4th and 2.
Slot blitz, and Wiggins saw the whole thing coming. Blitz here, he knows they're going to throw a slant, and he went to get it and almost potentially ended this game.
4th and 2. Dropping coverage, Mays throws, caught this time by Diggs down the sideline. First down, New England. They kept coming closer and closer to getting a pick. Diggs gets his 9th catch of the night and a first down.
Washington's going to break on this ball before the out cut. He knows exactly what's coming, and he still can't get there. He broke before Diggs did, and Diggs still beat him.
9 for 138, 400-yard game for Diggs this year. 2:55 to go.
Precise pass on that last one.
May, chased by Robinson, throws far side, catch made by Mac Hollins, inbounds at the 22.
I tell you, the clock is now, if you're New England, you want to milk this thing a little bit.
We're just thinking, who wants to take their timeouts right now? Right?
I certainly don't think New England wants to. Yeah, you want to slow this down. You want to force Baltimore to burn them if they want some time on the back end of this.
You saw Diggs talk with his teammates on the sideline. As Melissa said before, you see that leadership coming up in a big spot for the Patriots. The 21, Stevenson bouncing outside. Ramondre Stevenson with a block by Williams to the end zone. The Patriots take the lead. Touchdown, New England. He's had a terrific night in a variety of areas. And without Travion Henderson out with injury, Ramondre Stevenson steps up and gives the Pats the lead. Some of the Patriots fans who've made the trip chanting MVP for Drake May. Borregales adds the extra point. 2:07 to go. New England has erased a double-digit deficit.
Ramondre Stevenson right there, Roquan Smith there. And what you're going to see is a setup here and a cutback. And it was Roquan Smith who just barely stepped into that other side, that other hole. And Ramondre Stevenson teased it that way, cut it back, and look at the New England Patriots. Last week, they had an opportunity late to seal up the game. This week, they had to come from behind. And you just have to wonder, how much did they learn from that experience in Buffalo or against the Bills that have helped them here in this one tonight? It's a young team. They're growing. They're learning. Mike Vrabel didn't go crazy on them. He was like, let's just learn from it. And I think they have.
That's what you talked about right at the open. Because of Baltimore's situation, where they control their path to get to the playoffs with 3 straight wins, how important it was. And they go down double digits here in the 4th. And I don't think I need to remind New England fans the last time they were down 11 or more in the 4th, what happened, that Super Bowl against Atlanta. 2:07, full complement of timeouts for Baltimore. They need a touchdown, not a field goal. This one's going to be kept in the field of play. Chased down around the 12-yard line. And the return will not get Wester to the 35. So a timely kick and terrific coverage by one of the better special teamers in the league, Brendan Schooler, helps out New England. Yeah. Baltimore and their, Chris, 11 games losing with that 7+ point lead in the 4th quarter since 2021.
And because Mike Vrabel did the right thing on the prior touchdown to cut it to 3, now they score a touchdown and a field goal does them no harm. So Snoop is going to have to put them in the end zone here.
Tyler Huntley for the injured Lamar Jackson. First throw, Rasheen Ali, nothing. Loss of about 3 yards. And Carlton Davis who was part of that tackle. Slow to get up as we reach the 2-minute warning. 1:57 to go. They'll look at him. We're going to step out for just 30 seconds.
Put them hands up. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Put them hands up. To my brothers and sisters. Put them hands up. Put them hands up. Put them hands up. This world is yours. This world is yours.
Yeah. 30 seconds. We stepped away after that from AWS. And we've got 1 minute and 57 seconds remaining here at M&T Bank Stadium. Baltimore Ravens cannot be a wild card team, and if they cannot rally here, Lamar Jackson injured and Derrick Henry on the bench at the moment, they no longer control their path in the AFC North. It would be a glorious day for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who would be 1 win or a Baltimore loss away from winning the North. And those two teams play Week 18, but it might not be significant if the Ravens don't rally. Huntley looking. Flowers, the best man tonight. Chase down, knocked out. Patriots recover. It was K'Lavon Chaisson who came from behind and forced the fumble. Game is not over. Ravens have all 3 timeouts.
Covered by the defense. Push down, New England.
They can still get the ball back with about 1 minute 25 left if they keep the Patriots from getting a first down. But a huge play by Chaisson.
Chaisson never, ever gave up on this play. He's going to go all the way around and doesn't hesitate for 1 second. The minute that ball is thrown, he turns and sprints down the field. Watch him punch this thing out to almost win the game for the New England Patriots. Just spectacular. And I'll bet you that one goes on the Hall of Fame reel right there as far as Mike Vrabel's concerned.
Patriots first down at the Ravens 36-yard line. Stevenson. Side to the 32-yard line. Ravens take the first of their 3 timeouts. 1:43 to go. They can get the ball back. Zay Flowers, who has gone through disappointment we saw in the championship game a couple of years ago when he had a fumble at the goal line. Here in a big spot with the fumble here after he's been terrific tonight. 7 catches on 7 targets and 85 yards.
Yeah, he's been a star. But K'Lavon Chaisson talked about bringing in the right guys into the room. The right guys, when everything's on the line, they turn and sprint to the ball. You don't know if that's going to work out. You don't know if you're ever going to have an impact on that play or not. He turns into the hero because he was relentless. He was the right guy in the room, and he played his tail off in the biggest moment.
And he's not one of the big ticket flashy signings. 1 year, $3 million acquisition for the Patriots. 2nd and 6. Stevenson bouncing outside, got a first down, tries to stay in bounds, got a knee down first. So he is inbounds with 1:35 to go. And the Ravens take their 2nd timeout, and that brings them right to the brink. They can barely get the ball back in this situation. Just about done.
I mean, we got to watch this again. This is football at its best. This is when championships are won. When you have people that make plays like this in the biggest of moments, never hesitated, never stopped hustling. Just spectacular. Really just spectacular.
Chaisson was a first-round pick, and he played in Jacksonville for 4 years, and he only had 5 sacks in 57 games, but he was in the same division as Mike Vrabel. So Mike Vrabel saw him twice a year, knew what he was about. He went to Vegas and had a 5-sack year, and he said, being around Max Crosby, the ultimate never stop your motor guy, had a big influence on him. And there he is making one of those Max Crosby type plays down the stretch. They're just going to kill a little bit of time here and take the knee. Why do they do that? Because that's going to keep Baltimore from getting the ball back at all. It's just top-notch clock management there to waste the extra time before the Ravens take their final timeout. We have the Chevrolet postgame coming up. Melissa will interview whoever Chris decides with the stars of the game with the top story. Maybe Jason.
Hey, there we go.
Top story lines
bomb. We're good.
from week 16. And then we'll look ahead to the two games we have. Ravens and Packers, a Peacock Holiday exclusive, which is really going to be an important one with both quarterback starters for those teams injured. Both teams in need of a win because the Ravens now have to win to put the pressure on Pittsburgh. And the Packers or the Lions are going to be that last playoff team in the NFC in the wild card. Vrabel took a timeout before this snap here. So the clock didn't move. That play didn't happen. We'll go back to second down.
You know, some teams desperately need a win. Maybe the Patriots needed a loss. Maybe they needed what happened to them in Buffalo, where they almost admittedly took their foot off the gas a little bit. And it reset their minds. A team that had won 10 in a row realized that they couldn't just jump out to a big lead and sit on it. They had to keep playing football. And what Drake May has done here in the fourth quarter of this game is the kind of stuff that the best of the best that were playing in their second year did as well. And I'm talking about the best of the best.
You saw Mike Vrabel call that timeout. They are trying to just finely tune this clock management, and wasting more time like this does it. May got all the time wasted, and the first down, shuts it down before a touchdown, and it is game over. And it is back to the playoffs for the New England Patriots.
The MVP chants are starting even in this stadium. As the Ravens fans are heading out, the Patriots fans are chanting MVP, and I get it. I think that Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen, and Drake May, you make your choice there, but that looks like it.
Ravens will fall to 7 and 8. We gave you their story and their path. New England still can be the #1 seed. So many teams in the AFC still with #1 seed hopes alive with 2 games to go. Disappointing home season for Baltimore, 3 and 6. But this was a fourth quarter for the Patriots, and it is a Patriots night after missing the playoffs in the last 3 years. And in Mike Vrabel's first year leading the Pats, New England will be a part of the tournament. The Patriots clinch a playoff berth.
I don't know that Mike Vrabel's ever going to be more proud of a football team than he is of this one right here.
There he was with the guy who he coached for a half dozen years, Derrick Henry. He'll do the Vrabel sprint out of here, and he'll go up to greet every Patriot as they come up the ramp to the locker room. New England back in the postseason. Patriots win 28-24. Chevrolet postgame comes up after these messages.